Welcome to a special episode of Sin City Crypto, the 100X with BingX, our special live trading show. On today's show, it's all about TA, price target. What does it look like oversold? What's overbought? We're going to put in some trades live. We're going to do some leverage trading. We're going to have a lot of fun. So stick with us. Hit the like button and let's go. Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Stop it right now. Stop.
Sorry. Rob, what's up, man?
Not much, man.
Man,
I'm amped up on today.
dude, I am amped up. Today's show is going to be fire. We told you 2024 is going to be a big year for Sin City Crypto. We're always looking to bring you guys new content, new segments, new alpha, new info. And we hope you like this one. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So special shout out to BingX for sponsoring today's live show. They are one of our favorite platforms to trade on. Especially recently, we've been fielding a lot of calls, a lot of exchanges, and we've been talking with BingX for quite a while. And what stood out with them is their commitment to service, right? The communication lines have always been extremely open. They've offered to do things for our community, not just for us, but for our community that some of the other exchanges have not. And so we are proud to bring you today's show sponsored with BingX. And we said, listen, we ain't doing nothing unless you give something back to our community. And they oblige, as you can see here from the BingX website, and we'll get into some charts here in a second, but it's from the BingX website. So a couple of things are running for you guys. We did pin our affiliate link. So if you want to sign up, if you like what you see in today's video and you want to sign up and use BingX, use the link pinned to the top of the chat today. The first 20 people who sign up will get a special airdrop. They're also, they've just announced a big partnership with Chelsea FC, the football club out in England. And so if you log on there, do a couple of tasks, you can potentially win tickets to a game. And then also they're giving away $6,200 in USDT for trading. So if you want to check out
hold on, what was part one up there?
Airdrop for the first 20 people who sign up.
Okay. Do I get an airdrop if I sign up, or am I disqualified?
Do you have an account already?
I do have an account.
You do with BingX?
Yeah.
Sorry, Robin. Stop trying to take away our community's. Anyways, so let's get started. Let's take a look at where the prices are. So we're currently sitting at, Bitcoin 42.6. And I know on today's live show, I kind of teased a trade. And this is what I've been looking at on BTC. So this is Bitcoin on the 4 hour, right? And don't know what happened there. Robin?
What's that?
Is it on my computer?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So this is Bitcoin on the 4 hour. And the first thing I like to do is I like to throw on some Bollinger Bands, right? We can take a look at what is price doing. When is volatility kicking in? Typically when these Bollinger Bands do start to tighten, there's a big move that precedes it, right? You just got to figure out, is the move going to be to the upside or is the move going to be to the downside? And so taking a look here, and just to show you guys some examples here, let's go back to a December 10th. We saw the Bollinger Bands get tightened. We saw Bitcoin consolidate between about 43,586 and 44,522. Once the bands broke, we saw a move to the downside of about 10%. Again, if we take a look here, massive consolidation from December 22nd to December 24th. And although this move wasn't as big, you can still see from when this thing broke out to the bottom of this wick, that was still about a 5.5% move, which might not seem like a lot. But if you are trading with leverage, depending on how much leverage, if you were short on the market when this happened, you could have potentially made a lot of money, even with $100 or $200. Case,
I want to say that, like, even with trading with leverage, keep in mind that you don't have to go like a full 10x. You know, it's very common. I know that's a narrative that people throw out a lot, but you don't necessarily have to go the full 10x, 20x, 5x, 100x. It's a quick way to get liquidated. I mean, obviously, you know, you can look at success stories, and but for every success story, there's another 10 of them where people got liquidated, lost their cash. So, um, yeah, you know,
Don't get too greedy too, guys, right? A lot of people get super greedy. Just that, and we'll go over some things to really make sure you have in place so you don't get liquidated quickly on a scam wick, and so you also don't lose your entire account balance, right? If you're new to leverage trading, this is going to be a great video for you. And if you're a leverage trading expert, follow along with our trades. We're going to be putting some trades in live. Back to the Bitcoin chart. So here's a more recent case of Bollinger Bands constricting and a move to the upside. This was back on January 7th, and we saw a move of 10%. So Bitcoin went from about 43.3 to a high of 47.3, and that is when the market started bleeding. So where are we right now? This is where we're currently at. As you can see, the Bollinger Bands are tight, volume is low, but a potential positive we see. So on the top here, I got the RSI. So we're currently sitting at about 43. So not oversold, not overbought. I'm also seeing a tiny bit of bullish divergence on the 4-hour on BTC. As you can see here, a little bit of a more of a down move. And then for the RSI, it has been ticking up a little bit. So it's not as a clear divergence as you would like to see, but nonetheless, it is still diverging a little bit. And then the big one here is going to be the MACD. We just saw the MACD line cross above the signal, which is bullish, but also we're seeing momentum tick up as the histogram has gone from red to green, and we're in a great position to where Bitcoin has not moved yet. So I'm thinking, right, and of course, TA and trading is all about probabilities. I am thinking we see a move up in this. Well, once this Bollinger Band breakout breaks, I do expect to see a move to the upside for BTC. Now, what are some levels to look at? Let's throw our EMA bands on here. So this is a 10-day EMA, the blue line. And you can see here a perfect intersection. And I'll kind of hide these Bollinger Bands so we can see a little better. Perfect intersection of the 10 and 21-day exponential moving average. And if we drop a post here, we're looking at about 43.7. So we could potentially make a profit of about $1,200 per coin. But again, if we leverage, we can realize more gains. And as far as to the downside, if this thing does break the opposite way, we did find support here at this horizontal trend line. We saw a wick down there and a close. This was at $41,496. So if you are doing trail stops or stop losses, I would hide it around $40,900 just in case it was a scam wick. You don't want your entire position to get liquidated or get out of that trade too soon. We see these wicks all the time. They clear the books, they clear all the leverage trades out, and then it moves the way you thought it was going to move. So, with that being said, Rob, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts about putting in a little long trade on BTC here?
yeah, I mean, just
You got any
from
thoughts on this?
from fundamentals, for me, I'm kind of looking at what's going on with Bitcoin, and obviously at the ETF. That's big news, but Wall Street was closed today. We're recognizing the Martin Luther King Day, so national holiday. And with that said, no trading for the ETFs. So tomorrow we're gonna get that end of liquidity back onto the markets. And you did have a ton of sell pressure from Grayscale, and is it done? So that's really what you would, if you're gonna go off a narrative. Is Grayscale selling done, or is traditional Wall Street going to come in and start laying the bricks in for accumulation on Bitcoin? I don't know if it'll happen quite as tomorrow. I think by the end of the week, I think we see Bitcoin back up over 46,000, I would say. So I'd probably
let me ask you a question from more of like a psychological and sentiment perspective, right? So now Bitcoin is in a market where it's not 24/7, right? It's weekdays excluding federal holidays. Do you think with these 3 days off, Wall Street's going to come back with a vengeance? Or do you think we're going to see, what I'm basically trying to ask is, are we going to see a lot of volatility on Mondays or the first trading day in TradFi of the week? Do you think that's going to throw a wrench? That's
I would
something
say
people should consider when trading.
it's just I wouldn't factor it right now because it's such a big unknown. But it depends on how much percentage of Bitcoin is moving on the stock exchange, right? So if we're still under 1% of Bitcoin buy and sell is on Wall Street, for example, on the ETFs, it's not going to move the markets if there's some big buy orders and sell orders. But now all of a sudden, if globally you're seeing that 5% of Bitcoin trades are being done on, the spot orders, the buys and sells, if 5% of them are done on Wall Street, then yeah, it's absolutely going to be a factor, because what ends up happening is anything that's volatile takes a break on the stock exchange. And traders are, they have their orders in before the markets open. Now you have pre-markets. So with pre-markets, you still know the direction of, the direction of a stock, right? So a CEO can come out, have some terrible news about a company. It'll be reflected in the opening price of the stock on Monday. And the same will happen here. If all of a sudden you get a flash crash on Bitcoin on a Saturday, it's not like the price of Bitcoin is going to be frozen from the Friday, right? It might show that on Wall Street, but the second it opens, it instantly settles in at the price that it trades at. So I wouldn't put too much into it. I'm sure that we'll figure out what to expect from the markets, maybe in a couple months after we get kind of acclimated to it. But we've already seen it with futures trading, right? At the ends of the month, it's at certain times of the week, or certain weeks.
But obviously, there's
orders.
definitely going to be more volatility as the actual underlying asset is being bought and sold.
As Wall Street has more and more exposure to Bitcoin, as a larger percentage of Bitcoin traded is on Wall Street, then the bigger of an impact opening day or opening bell on Monday and closing bell on Friday have on the price. Right now, I think it's such a small percentage compared globally to all the exchanges that I wouldn't, for my trading and me entering in on a trade position or even spot buying, I'm going to just stay away from speculating on what the markets are going to do until we have at least a month, 2 months of data to know what to expect.
Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and so this is I'm digging this for our first trade. So let's go ahead and expand this full screen so I can really show. So this is the BingX platform. Now that there are two different types of futures you can trade. One is perpetual futures, one is standard futures. We are going to be using standard futures. It's easier. I would guess to say it's more for the, I don't want to say novice, but for the person who doesn't want to see 20 different things, a limit order, stop limit to this. And so it's clear, better, especially if you just want, hey, I don't want the noise. I just want a yes or no, long or short, how much leverage do I want? So Bitcoin, what we're going to do here, let's do, what are you feeling, Robin? 250, 300? So $200.
$200?
So $200. Let's do, and so here, as you can see, guys, I'll kind of zoom in so you can see. So here's the most important thing. Let me tell you guys something, okay? This up here, isolated and margin, okay? Very, very, very important. If you have other money in your account and you select cross margin, it'll drain every dollar in your account. It'll drain every single dollar in your account to keep you from getting liquidated versus doing isolated margin. You can only lose the amount of money you originally put in. So if you want to limit your downside risk and just take the liquidation, if you get liquidated, make sure to select. Actually, I recommend everyone do isolated trading, unless you got like a $2, $3, $4 million you got to play around with. Just you use isolated. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use isolated. And as you can see here, we're going to go over to the right. So we're going to do $200, and it gives you the options here for a quick select. But as Rob mentioned, you can go down here and you can select, 6x, 7x, whatever you want to do. So I want to do a 8x leverage. Let's do an 8x, and then we'll go down here. We'll click OK. And I want you guys to pay attention to one thing here as well. So this liquidation price, if Bitcoin gets to this price, your account, your trade will get liquidated. Now, as you can see here, the lower we go in margin, that number decreases. So once we're at 5x, our liquidation point is 34.5. So if you're trying to figure out, hey, what point do I think is not going to drop under? Go back to your chart. And what I'm taking a look at here is we have a lot of, and then I'll kind of zoom in here a little bit. We have a lot of buy orders coming in right around this 41,732. And if we scroll down just a little bit, actually, we're going to zoom out to the daily here. We're going to zoom out to the daily. Let's take a look at where we are at for Bitcoin as far as some bids coming in. So we've wicked down here around this area, and I'll kind of draw a box so we can take a better look here. Let's draw a box from here. So all these wicks, right? All these wicks. So the lower bound of this channel here is $40,144, and the upper end is about 41,381. So I would feel pretty confident at seeing that we literally blew right through 37.59, zero resistance, so we got up to about 44.2. And when we did retrace, we wicked down here shortly, and then we bounced right back up. Each wick saw a move to the upside. This first move to the upside was around 7.5%, and the second one, this wick down here, was a move to the upside about 10%. So I am comfortable with the liquidation price around, call it 39.5, just in case we get that wick down. So I'm going to go back to the platform here, right here, bam. So you can play around with this too. So that's why I want to go 8x leverage. So $37,856. That is the price of Bitcoin. If it gets to that we will get liquidated. So bam, always double check. USDT account, yes. Isolated, yes. 8x leverage, yes. Liquidation price. You can also do take profit on certain percentages, and you can create stop losses as well. We're not going to be using that for this trade. So we are officially going to enter into a long position. And as you scroll down, you can see here all your positions. It'll tell you your unrealized profit and loss. And if you do change your mind on a stop loss or a take profit, you can go in here, this little pencil here, you can click it, and then you can add your take profit or your stop loss, and also your trailing stop. You can do this as well. If you want to close a position, all you got to do is hit close and then follow the steps to do that as well. So we got our Bitcoin position in. As far as where we're looking to take some profit, let me go ahead and clear these drawings here.
And then do want to give a big shout out to the chat. If you're new here, say hello. We can drop an hola back at you. We are streaming at a different time zone, so I know we might catch some people that don't normally make our show, but I see we have a couple familiar faces: Flat Smack, Servando, French Toaster, Rusty Bot, Billy, Jason F is in here. Also, Crypto Pitbull, Armand, Sean Carr, Dave P, Lifer Adam, Rusty Bot, Andrea, NFB or NBF. Also, Jason S in here, DJen Hexagon, Emmy. Then we got Biomex in here as well. Troy, James, Dave P, Mark Dutch, and the B Team Crypto. So to all of you, hola, welcome, Sin City Crypto. And let us know if you also sign up for a one of our affiliate links. I'd like to give you another personal shout out as well. Or if you're first time kind of trading, I would like to include the chat a little bit more, so a little bit more community engagement on today's show. Than
also, if there's a coin you have your eye on as far as potentially entering a trade, or you're already in a trade, we can take a look at those together as well. Now, the important thing before you enter a trade is to have a game plan. Okay, I'm getting in because, and I'm getting out here. My plan is to take X amount of profit at this level, take the rest here. Have a plan. So for me, my plan, looking at the Bitcoin chart on the daily, I'm looking, okay, when am I going to start laddering out or completely exiting my trade? And as we can see here, we have Bitcoin on the daily And where I'm going to be looking at taking, I'm going to go to my laptop real quick, where I'm going to be looking at taking profits here or potentially completely exiting, depending on what the move looks like, depending on the volume, depending on the RSI, and depending on the sentiment in the market. If all of a sudden we see a shift from Grayscale, if all of a sudden we see BlackRock bought another 12,000 BTC inflows, third day of trading, because we've already had our first 2 days, was $2-3 billion. Okay. Net inflow was 1.1. Okay, cool. Bam. Then we start seeing the structure with, depending on the candles, the wicks, I might potentially leave it in there. But my first take profit target is going to be here. I'll just draw it right. It's going to be a zone. It's going to be between here and here. So this is where a lot of volume came in, and we can assume some of that might be some selling volume. And the upper bound is going to be 44,732, and the lower bound is going to be 43,748. So 43,748, I'll be taking about 20% profit. I'll take the remaining 30% off around 44.7, and depending on how the markets are, we either leave it in there or we take the rest after 44.73. Rob, how you feel about this, man?
On take profits and
on the trade we just put in, man. You feel pretty confident?
Yeah, I do.
Make some money, baby. Let's make some money. All right. Let's take a look at where the rest of the markets are. So
then we do have and then make sure if there's something you guys want us to take a look at, put it in the chat, and we'll try to get to some of them. No guarantees on getting to all the tokens, but I did see Say in here, and
Say's been pumping.
Yeah, somebody else put Troy said he has a long on Sol as well. I saw some other tokens in here earlier, and then
also, guys, one word of advice for you, for all of you. For me personally, when I am trading, and I'm dealing with money or trading, I always have a VPN on. It secures your location. It protects all your passwords. And so I definitely recommend, if you are trading on any platform, to use a VPN to make sure that you and your money are safe.
And if you're not in an area, if you're not in one of the areas that is supported by an exchange that's region, I'll work around there. We'll just leave it there.
Right. Robin said the quiet part out loud. All right, take a look here at BingX again. So we have ETH coming in at $2,515, BNB 316. That is up 4.26%. BNB. So from a trading perspective, I guess BNB is great. You can enter a super long position and hide your liquidation price under $193.
And it'll never, ever, ever
That's what I'm saying.
Get liquidated, right? Even if Bitcoin drops down to 16,000, right?
Yeah. You know what? I want to take a look at Solana here. So the cool thing about the BingX platform, guys, if you go to the markets and you click on details, you can get a real short view of the price chart, the top assets. If you're not sure what the project is, on the left-hand side here, you can see Solana versus Ethereum, some of the narrative, and then you can also see trading signals. So this is great for if you're into sentiment trading, right? We saw a lot of people, and even Dan from the Chart Guys, when he was on our show, he talked about, hey, when I see a lot of euphoria on Twitter, I know to go short, right? And so this is another tool you can use if you want to do, if you're not only looking at candles and price action, but you want to look at what's happening around, right? Because you got to understand, trading is all about psychology, right? Behind every candle, there are people trading. And if you look at the candles closely and a pattern of candles, you can really see where the sentiment of the market is, but you can also see that through stuff like Twitter posts and also posts here as well, depending on what people are saying and what they are doing. They also have price predictions here as well. So we did see Solana, and I'm actually gonna let's go to SOL here. Let's take a look at Solana. Actually, bam, Solana. Ooh, all right. So this is Solana on the daily. You guys seeing what I'm seeing here or what? You guys seeing what I'm seeing? If you're seeing what I'm seeing, drop it in the chat. But this is a nice, you know me, I love flags, Robin. I'm a flag guy.
That's just a giant trend line there too, right? It looks like it's just trading straight across that trend line.
This one right here. This channel.
No, from wherever is the low before the breakout. That's nice.
Talking about here?
Yeah, from there. Yeah, there to there.
I mean,
It's almost a perfect straight line.
It's been making higher highs.
That's what I mean. That trend line is up and to the right.
You know, this actually still looks pretty bullish. Although we didn't make a higher high here. This is on the daily. So we failed to make a higher high on January 11th, but we did make a higher low. What we want to see this do to reverse this this micro downtrend. And again, I did say this does kind of look like a bull flag here, and I'm just going to. Where did you go? So if we go here, right, we draw a little parallel channel, right? So these bull flags do typically break to the upside. You'll see price moving down in this channel, and then it does typically break to the upside. And the way you measure the move is you take the length of the pole and you put it on top here. And if this thing plays out and we get that measured move, we're looking at about $152 Solana. What I like to do though is let's remove these drawings. Let's go in here. Let's take a look at the Bollinger Bands and see what price action is in. So again, a little tightening on the Bollinger Bands as well. So with Solana, the moves have been a lot more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Explosive. We see here that, and by the way, this is on the daily, and the longer time frames you go out, the more significant the move could be. And so on Solana here on the daily, back on October 18th, we're trading right around $23. We saw those bands get super tight, and then bam, just a moonshot of a double, right? Wicked all the way up to about $47.12. Then again, this was back in the very first 3 days of December. We saw bands get tightened, and once this thing broke, we saw Solana. The initial rally was about 31%, and then that was on the road to year-to-date highs of around $126. We're seeing the bands starting to get tightened again. What we do like to see, though, the RSI is right smack dab in the middle, so 50. Decent volume, although it is decreasing. Taking a look here, we swapped the Heikin Ashi candles. Gives you a better look as far as how strong the trend is. And you can see here, the bigger the body, the stronger the trend. And as the body size starts to shrink, that means the trend is coming down or the trend is starting to cool off. And so here you can, and even on the Heikin Ashi candles, you can see these bodies have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This candle does close, but this candle just started. So interesting to see where this candle will go and how high this wick will be. But I'm thinking Solana is ready for a big move here. Let's try to figure out if it's going to be to the downside or to the upside. So again, bull flag trending down. We did make a higher low. I'd be looking to reclaim this $109.49 level. We swap out, if we throw on the EMAs here, we take a look, take off the Bollinger Bands. Yeah, we're right at the 10 and the 21-day EMA. This is interesting. So we're trading below it too. Look at this. Trading below it. And as you can see here, historically, anytime we traded below, we've always come back up. So last time we traded below, we wicked down to about $85, and then we shot up about 25%. More recently, this was on Friday. From wick to wick, that was about a 20% move. And we're currently trading below both the 21 and the 10-day exponential moving average, so which is a good sign for a rebound. This might be a nice trade to get into, actually. One thing I'm not seeing, though, on the MACD here, it's still bearish. The histogram is still red. But this thing, once this thing flips, we should see a big move from Solana. They're on the VRVP. Yeah, this is a strong level of support, guys. But a big wall here, as you can see, right? Whether these are buy or sell orders, you can see here a big wall. Now, the negative, though, one thing to be careful if you are going to enter into a Solana long trade is once we break below, if this $86.96 level doesn't hold, which you can see here, we've held multiple times, right? We held here once, we held here twice, and then we also held here a third time. And so this would be something interesting. But again, what I would do if you were entering along, I would hide my liquidation price under $73.92. Take a look at what that would look like on the trading.
And then
Go back here.
Flat Smack says big volume gap below as well.
On Solana?
Yes.
So USDT. Yes, we know risk. Okay, so we'll do $200 on Solana.
And then also while you put that in, I am gonna give a big shout out to the chat here. If you're news, hey, hello, so we can drop an hola back at you. We have Progressive Martian, DV, Troy Westbrook, Crypto Stevo, Dave P, Nikki P, and Crimson Caravan Company. To all of you, hola, welcome to Sin City Crypto, our 100x with Bing X, our live trading show.
So here's what I'm looking at on the Solana trade. So again, what I want to do is I want to be liquidated below $73.10, right? Then we're going to see, this is what we consolidated for a while here. As you can see, this little area here, good amount of consolidation here, but also tons of volume coming in. So we might see Solana, if it does break to the downside, dip around that $73.92 level, and then bounce right back up. And then with that bounce up, there's really nothing until we hit about $95. So going back to the trade here, if I were to make this trade, which I'll get Rob's take on this, I'd be looking at a 4x leverage, as this would bring my liquidation price down to $72.77. Rob, from a sentiment psychological standpoint, in my opinion, anything under $100 in the minds of the trader, in the minds of the investor, is cheap for Solana, right? We saw it get to about $300 last cycle. We saw it get to $126. What are your thoughts from a sentiment and psychological standpoint on Sol? And then what are your thoughts on potentially making this our second trade of the day?
Well, you had the measured move out 150, and I think right now we saw what did Solana bottom out at? What was the local low on this
chart?
Yeah, just the low
on this last
yeah
one?
yeah
about $85.20.
$85. Yeah, I just don't see it. I think once it crosses over 100, and I know it's already been over there, but once it crosses over 100, as long as Bitcoin stays over the 45, if it gets back into that 45 channel, I think you're pretty much in the clear, right? I mean, obviously the alts move with Bitcoin. Bitcoin moves as soon as Bitcoin gets over 45. I would pay very close attention to what's going to happen tomorrow with the stock market. All of a sudden, because right now we're what's Bitcoin at right now? Is it still under 43?
Bitcoin right now is at 42,595.
Yeah, if you see this thing around 44 or 45 tomorrow, I think it's indicative of what's happened with Wall Street. And remember, the new money coming in on Wall Street on this ETF, these are more long-term hodlers, or I don't want to say hodlers, but traditional markets who are not speculating on the price on the daily. Now, there are going to be traders, obviously, even in Wall Street, but I think that we're just waiting for the Wall Street consolidation or accumulation, excuse me.
But Rob, we saw Solana rally from about $20 to over $100, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin was trending up, but didn't have an explosive growth. You really think that a negative move from Bitcoin would pull Solana back? I know historically it has.
That's
but
what I would keep. If Bitcoin stays over 40, or if Bitcoin stays over 40,000, I don't think Solana goes under 80 anymore. And with that said, it was trading over $100. And once Bitcoin gets once Bitcoin gets back into the 45 range, I think a sub $100 Solana's out the table. Moving forward, or at least into the next bull market, I think that's the way I look at it. I mean, Solana just I look at the last bull market, right? The last bull market for Solana, the last bull market for Solana was up and to the right, right? It had its ICO for a couple bucks, and then it ran so hot, and then it got up to, I think it was about $20. Took a couple months off, and then it just took off from there. We if you look at the history of Solana, you'll see that it didn't slow down at all until Bitcoin crashed and you had the Terra Luna collapse. And so I think the same is going to happen this time. And I think $100 is a nice support level once Bitcoin crosses and establishes the 45K range. So
cool. Just real quick, before if we do enter the trade, let's take a look at Solana on the. Ooh, you see what I'm seeing here? Got a little head or shoulder, head, and a shoulder here. But this neckline, right? What you want to see with a head and shoulders for it to play out, you want to breach the neckline, which we briefly wicked under but came back above. Again, this is Solana on the 4-hour. Consolidation we're seeing here. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna remove the head and shoulders pattern. We're gonna throw on the Bollinger Bands. Look at what is that looking like? Same thing. Take a look at where the trend is. Trend is currently down, right? So price is trading below the cloud, but trend is green, and we're seeing the conversion line trading above the baseline, which is a positive sign as well. Again, higher lows for Solana, higher low. So higher low, higher low, higher low. But we've made lower highs. So I still feel pretty confident with the Solana trade. Zoom out to the weekly, just kind of take a look at where we're at on the trend. So on the more macro, we are in a positive uptrend on Solana. And so I'm thinking we get into the Solana trade. Let's do 150. Do 150. So again, my biggest thing, liquidation under 73.90, which this trade here would put us at $72.77. I will be taking some profits at about $105. So with our second trade, let's go ahead and enter this long on Solana. Isolated margin, we're good. No take profit, no stop. You know what? Let's do take profit on this one. Let's take 25% off the table when Solana gets to about $101.37. Bam, long. We're in Solana. So just to recap our trade, and I did enter a small trade on the same Bitcoin setup we had, but we're currently in the negative on our Bitcoin trade, our 8x leverage trade. So 96 cents in the negative. Damn it, Robin. Let's just quit now. Just kidding. We're not quitting. Let's take a look at where the rest of the markets are. So we got Sol we're keeping an eye on. We got BTC we're keeping an eye on. Let's try to see if we can find any shorts here. So I want to take a look at the crypto bubbles. So what has been going on over the last hour? We can see Blur is down 2.3%. Say, someone mentioned Say, that is down 1.5, but still on the day up over 10%. A lot of double-digit gainers today. Beam is up 10%, Injective up 11.1%, Pulse Chain up 16.7%, Blur up 15.4%. Take a look at the RSI heat map here. Let's go to the 4-hour on the RSI. So you can see here, guys, a lot of tokens, and this is a great, this is something great you can use just to get a quick visual on how the markets are trading, right? So as you can see here, a lot of consolidation. According to the RSI, a lot of neutral. We do have a couple that are overbought, including NFP, Chiliz, Tezos is overbought, Strax, but nothing extremely overbought. And on the oversold side, again, nothing really, but a lot just kind of hanging around here in the middle. And then another thing that I would recommend you look at is token unlocks before you enter a trade. And so a big one I'm seeing here is ApeCoin. They got about 4% of their total market cap, which is about, what is that, about $800,000? $800,000 being unlocked over the next 22 hours. If we take a look here, what is being unlocked? So you have Yuga Labs is getting more money. The Dow Treasury, Founders. So a lot of tokens that we can assume people are going to take profits on and sell is being currently unlocked. Let's take a look at the Ape chart here. Let's see, so maybe we can get a short in on Ape. And then with trading, guys, I've option. I used to options trade for years before getting into the crypto industry, and prices go down a lot faster than they go up typically, at least in the stock market. So let's take a look here. Let's do Binance, Tether. Let's look at Ape. So this is so I'm going to start off on the weekly on Ape. Yeah, this thing has been bleeding. This is an ugly chart on the weekly. Look at that. Ugh. Lower highs, lower lows. Looks like we are printing a higher low, but we didn't make a higher high. So the level I'd be looking at to even consider a change in direction would be clearing this $2.36 level. If we drop down to the daily on ApeCoin, let's take a look at what that's telling us. So taking a look at MACD, it does look like we're potentially seeing a trend reversal here. We're trading right at this VRVP level, which is right around that $1.50 level. But zooming out, this one actually looks more bullish on the daily. So we cleared this higher high, right? We cleared this. We made a higher high here. The next level, about $2.11. Let's throw on our EMA bands, take a look at where we're trading here on the 10 and 21-day exponential moving average. So we're bumping up right against that 10-day moving average. Go down to the 1 hour here.
And while you pull up the 1 hour, we do have it pinned at the top of the chat and in the description, a link to BingX for the Sin City Crypto affiliate link. And so for that, they are airdropping. Do we know what they're airdropping yet? Or
it's a surprise.
Oh, okay.
First 20 people, they'll get an airdrop.
Okay. So yeah, support the channel, support Sin City Crypto. Also support BingX for helping us put this together as well.
Amen to that.
Also, hit the like. We got 72 likes, 112 viewers. Let's show support for the new show. We want to make this a regular streamed event. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, smash the like.
Yeah, we saw a big spike in volume here. This is on the 1 hour, but this is not anything worth.
Seems like it's hitting resistance there, right?
Yeah, well, the top of this cloud is a really good resistance zone, and this thing has.
I mean, would you put in a short if you were gonna put in something? Right?
No, because the MACD is showing momentum to the upside, right? So again, right, saw this clear this. This was a higher low, and then we got another higher low here, but I would not feel comfortable going long or short. So this is something I would probably stay on the sideline for this ApeCoin. We'll take a look back here on the token unlocks. Let's take a look at, I believe Sei had an unlock as well.
Yeah, somebody in the chat had mentioned Sei earlier. And then if there's anything you want us to take a look at, just let us know.
Yeah, take a look at Sei. So they had an unlock, I believe, today or yesterday. We got another one coming up in about 30 days. So this is one thing to keep an eye on, guys. Around what is this? August of this year, we're going to see unlocks from the team and the private sale investors. So we should see. But here's the thing with token unlocks and price action. It's a lot more. It has a lot bigger impact negatively in a bear market, right? Volume's not really there. People aren't really buying. In a bull market, right? We saw the likes of Filecoin go to about, what was it, $100 and some, and their tokenomics are only 15, 20% circulating. So not great tokenomics, but the price still rallied massively. And then we saw in the we'll just take a look at Filecoin here on the chart. We'll go on the weekly on Filecoin, and I'll show you guys here on the where is the Filecoin Binance? Bam. Let's take this off. Let's go to the weekly on Filecoin. Yeah, look at this. Look at this massive spill off here, right? So Filecoin on Binance at least wicked all the way up to $236. This was back in April of 2021, and then just like a massive spill off, $5. And so during this rally, right, from about February of 2021, from about $24, we saw almost a 10x from Filecoin with crappy tokenomics. But we saw in the bear market, Filecoin just got absolutely obliterated, right? It got absolutely obliterated. It looks like a chart would say it looks like a dead project. We know it's not a dead project. That we've actually done a video.
It has not moved at all this year. In the last 12 months, it's just stayed completely stagnant. Outperformed by Bitcoin. I mean, you could sit here and make a case like, hey, it's not moving. But usually when you look at a project, you're like, man, it hasn't moved at all. The rest of the markets have moved. To me, that's always me. I identify that as a project that is ready to pump, right? It has the fundamentals. It has the team. It has dApps. It has developers.
Got great utility.
The one knock on Filecoin is its tokenomics, right? Horrendous inflation isn't that I don't know about horrendous, but not ideal for what you're looking for in inflation and tokenomics. And so, but man, you can't.
This is, by the way, this is Filecoin against Bitcoin. You brought it up.
Yeah. This is the against Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually looking on my own computer here. I'm just looking at the 12 months on the price movement of Filecoin. 1 year ago, it was at $4.50 exactly 12 months ago. So it's only up $1. So very minimum. It's up 20% on the last 12 months. So
and this is, and then, you know, as far as like trading and leverage trading, right? Volatility is your best friend, right? The longer you stay in a trade, ideally you want to get in and out of trades quickly. You know, you free up capital, you go into your next trade. But Filecoin on the weekly has been on a downtrend. This is almost a descending triangle here. I'll call it a symmetrical triangle. But the lower bound of this is about $3.30. We did see a spike up in volume. So recently, this was back from October this year. Filecoin's been up from bottom to wick about 150%. But we've seen 7, 8, 9, 10x's from projects like Solana and in a similar time frame. Cardano's up 3, 4x in the same time frame. A big shout out to Dark Energy, $5 New Zealand, $5 New Zealand dollars. Is it dollars in New Zealand? I don't know. So can you guys look at Phantom? Yes, we will. Also, Alex O Crypto, $5 Canadian dollars. Like the new content, guys. Sorry, it's Canadian. Alex, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. So yeah, Filecoin is something, but again, going back to what I was saying, with token unlocks, it's a lot more dire when it comes to price action in a bear market versus in a bull market. And luckily for Sei, there's a lot of hype going in, right? A lot of hype going in. We're going into the bull market. It's got a great team behind it. We did do a video on Sei, so if you want to learn more about it, go check out our video we put on our channel. And so just take a quick peek at what Sei's price action is doing. And again, I know I said this thing's been up today. Take a look at Sei on Binance. Bam, bam.
And also, if you're new here, say hello. We'll drop an hola back at you. We got Nazir, Al Jr., and me, Crypto. Hola to all of you. Also, Al Jr. says, take a look at SLP as well.
Smooth Love Potion?
Yeah.
From Axie Infinity? Okay. All right, so this is Sei on the 4 hours. So again, let's throw on the bands and see if see, this thing already broke out. So this is on the 4 hour, right? So this would have been a great trade. Look at that. So tightening bands on the Bollinger Band, so expecting volatility, and this thing did break, and it broke to the upside. And this was about, from the time it broke out around here, you're looking at about a 20% move to the upside. Could have booked some nice profits on Sei. But let's take a look at where we can expect Sei to stop at. So let's take off the Bollinger Band. Let's throw on the EMA. So we're trading good on the EMAs. Let's take a look at the cloud and see. So pretty bullish on the cloud. And then let's zoom out to the daily. So we saw resistance twice. We wicked up here around that 87.8 cent level. So about 7 cents away from getting to this local top. Really, their all-time high, right? 87 cents is their all-time high. And here's the thing too, with coins like Sei, right? shorter term trading is a little difficult, right? Because once you get into price discovery, right, there's no technicals. Sure, you can draw some fibs and say, sure, it can retrace this much, but you really don't have any resistance levels, right? So at that point, what you want to do is you want to say, okay, I'm up $500. I'm taking my initial investment. I'm letting the less ride, or it's a different game plan than trading something like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, who's got a lot more price data you can go off of. Rob, do you have any thoughts on maybe trading tokens that are newer and that don't have that price history as something like Bitcoin has been around for 14 years?
I'll tell you what, man, catching a trendy token at the beginning of a bull market when it's new and it hasn't reached price discovery, it usually pays off, right? I mean, think about all the trending tokens that in the last bull market, because where we're at in the bull market cycle, you got the halving coming around in 3 months. And so if you would have looked at Phantom, Near, Avalanche, you name any of the rising stars that we saw last bull market, if you would have got exposure to them pre-halving, even if you would have bought at say a local top in a 3 month window, I mean the returns that you got in a bull market would have been, you would have laughed at whether or not your price would it have mattered if you would have got in at Solana at $15 or $20 when it ran up to 200. And so that's the way I look at this market with trending tokens, because Say is an absolute trending token right now, still outside the top 40 on CoinMarketCap list, less than a $2 billion market cap. So $1.9 billion market cap. If it were to crack the top 20, it would be a $4 billion market cap by the time. And I figure the entire space is going to grow by that time anyways. So you're going to get increase on the total market cap of crypto in general. And so you forecast out 4 months from now, I'm looking at Say as a $5 to $8 billion market cap. It's sitting at 2 right now. And so pick your best time to enter and then get positioned there. And then, you don't have it. I would look at it from a medium term trade. Maybe I know you were saying you might not want to lock up money for, in a long period of time, but if you're going to lock up a trade, why not do a trending token that is going to pump this bull market? And 3 months out, what would be a good entry position on us? I know you're on the Phantom chart.
Are you good?
But, what would be a good entry position on Say, if you wanted to get that 3 month exposure, right?
That's the thing is, I got into this. So I purchased some Say, and I publicly said this after I made my our video. I gave myself FOMO, and I FOMO'd into Say. I bought around 75 cents. But I understood that I was planning on holding this for longer than 3 months, planning on holding it through the end of the year. I do have some levels that I am looking to take some profits at. But Say is something I've added at least a little bit to my longer term portfolio. I think what they're doing is really good. It's interesting. They got the former worked for Robinhood Trading, and he's one of the founders, Jayendra Jog. And his partner as well. Name's not coming to me right now, but they're essentially for traders, for exchanges. They're looking to bring together the fragmented world of order books, liquidity. So you have the positives of decentralized exchange and market makers. And then you have these centralized exchange order books, and they're looking to combine the best of both worlds. So to essentially, again, bring together the fragmented world of liquidity when it comes to trading and these exchanges. So Say is something I'm definitely looking forward to. But again,
I also put Kaspa in that category of new trading tokens, right? And let's just say we break new all-time highs on Bitcoin. What do you think Kaspa and Say look like, right? I would think no matter where you bought it at in this last, say, 30 days, I think that those are projects that you should be keeping an eye out on. And just to double back on what I was saying, I feel like Say and Casper, or Caspa, excuse me, are very comparable to Solana, maybe Phantom. I think it has that kind of that kind of buzz and utility that these other tokens had in the last bull market. So, and we've been covering it a lot, and there's a reason we've been covering Caspa, Say, and Solana, right? Because we have identified those as projects that are probably going to be explosive in the next bull market. We hats off to the Litecoin community, but let's be real. You're probably not going to get returns off of Litecoin the same way you're going to get off of the projects that we just listed. And you can say, oh, well, they're smaller projects that can run. Well, no, Solana's had a higher market cap than Litecoin is. But there's a lot of buzz there, a lot of developers there, and there's a lot of people talking about it. It's not just people in the crypto world, right? You look at CNN, you look at Kevin O'Leary is always talking about Solana, and that's things that I'm keeping my radar on, is saying like what's catching buzz,
Also, we do have a pull up. How many of you leverage trade? Right now we're at 58% no and 42% yes. What if you don't leverage trade? Let us know why not. And if you do, let us know what you like about it, and what exchange are you using, and what do you like about that exchange?
And then also, if you're new to leverage trading, it's not for everybody. 100%. Well, I'll just tell you, if you got a gambling problem, for instance, it's really not for everybody. But if you want to dabble, you want to try out leverage trading, you can open up an account. You can open up BingX as well, but you can open up an account and you can have play money, right? You can have you can experiment, and then you can get to know how the interface works, how the platform works before you decide to put your own cash in there. So.
Since you brought up play money, Robin, I think that's a very, very good point. And actually, I would recommend you do that before you even enter any leverage trades. And all you got to do is here, you go same thing, derivatives, standard or futures, depending on. I would go futures if you're looking to demo trade, right? And then here on the top right, and we'll go here so they can
full screen.
There we go, perfect. So and I'll kind of zoom in so you guys can see. Right next to isolated margin, you have here USD account. You're going to want to go to VST, right? This is the virtual money. And all you got to do is you got to put in a request to the BingX team, and they'll fund your account. And you can do everything that you're doing with real money with play money. So you can play around with the platform. You can test out. And this is also great, even if you are a seasoned trader, Ryan. Let's say you have a new trading signal you want to try out, or you're trying to back test something, or you're trying to use 2-3 indicators together, and it's some new.
It's practice.
It's practice.
It's practice. And if you're running, if you're playing quarterback, it's okay to go out and practice. It doesn't have to be real game time every time, right? So you want to go out there and get a little practice. Hey, you know what? I want to. If you're used to doing just 2x leverage, and you're like, hey, I want to up my game. You know what? I would start with a little demo money, and then try that out, get a little practice, get a little experience under your belt, and then just like you're playing a sport, go shoot for some free throws before the game starts, right?
Nothing wrong with practice, man. Even I practice sometimes, practice a lot of things. And then we have so who said Progressive Martian said I leverage trade on Mexi. If you are new, don't leverage. Yes, be careful with leverage. But for me, if you're isolated trading and you have a game plan going in, and you understand how to manipulate your liquidation price, and you don't get greedy, we always say don't ever put in anything you're not willing to lose. Same thing, right? So this trade, for example, the trade we're in right now, and I'm gonna swap back over to my USDT account. The trades we're in right now, if all goes to hell, the most money we're going to lose on this Bitcoin trade is $200. The most money we're going to lose on the Solana trade is $150. As long as you have the correct parameters in place, which is make sure you're on isolated, you're not. It's like options trading, limited downside and sky's the limit on the upside. So it's a great way to get ahead. It's a great way to make money. But you got to be willing to put the time in, look at the charts, watch shows like Sin City Crypto, and don't listen to some of the people who are like 125x, 200x. You don't need 100x, bro. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10x is completely fine. Okay.
The name of the show is 100x.
That's true. We all want 100x. We want 100x. I'm just saying, if you're new to leverage trading and you're trying to play around with it, you don't need to go 100x, 120.
The only 100x you need is this show right here.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So this is, you brought up Kaspa. I just wanted to take a quick peek at Kaspa versus Bitcoin. We have been trending down. So in this little downtrend, but some potential good news for all you Kaspa fans. So this is going back to November of last year. We saw Kaspa rally around 200% against Bitcoin, has been bleeding off slowly, but it looks like, Robin, we're getting ready to flip this trend line. So what we want to see is a retest of this trend line, right? Retest of this trend line, which will bring us down around another, call it 7%. If we hold, either consolidate or trade sideways or start to make higher highs, this could potentially be a good breakout of Kaspa against BTC. If I go to, I'm gonna go back to Phantom because that's what one of our guys. So Phantom here, I got it on the 1 hour, and this for me, there's not enough volatility here, right? Take a look at the Bollinger Bands. Not really tight. We saw the last time these bands got tight and Phantom broke out. We had a breakout of about 5%. So this range, this total range is a 4% range on Phantom, right? So to me, as a trader, especially leverage trading, there's just not enough volatility here for me. So yeah, even if we go to the daily, right? Go to daily. So big move up from Phantom. This was this move up from December 18th was about a 42% move, and then we've been bleeding off slowly, making lower highs, and we finally have made a higher low. So will the trend change? Let's take a look at the Ichimoku here, just to get a brief idea where the trend is. So this is the equilibrium zone where we're in the cloud. You don't want to trade, right? And you can see here historically when we've been inside trading any significant amount of time inside the cloud, not really a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money, right? You see here, been in the cloud, trade sideways. Once you break above, that's when you want to enter a long or a short trade, or if you break below, you enter a short trade. But not a lot of volatility for me for Phantom. You see volume has been trending down since what? Since December of last year, right? Low volume, choppy sideways. If you were trading options, I would put in an options trade that you make money if it stays within a range, but we don't have that in crypto derivative trading or futures trading yet. So to me, Phantom is a pass on trading. Now, from an investment standpoint, that's a completely different story, but we're not going to get into that just yet. And then taking a look at, so this is pretty cool. This is from cryptometer.io. Money flows. You can see here if you hover over the token, you can see where the money is flowing out. So Ethereum, we've had over the last 24 hours about $724 million sold, with the majority of it going to USDT and some going into Bitcoin. And as you hover over, you can see which of these tokens, right, are going straight to stables, USD to cash out, or they're going to Bitcoin. And we can see a lot of ETH traders are putting their money into BTC. On the net flow side, we have net flow from, I'm going to zoom in here so it's a little bit easier to see. Net flow on, let's say something like Pepe, for example, we had a positive net flow of 2.6 million into stables. And you got to assume people that have money in stables, if you keep it in stables, you're either doing it to earn interest, or that's your dry powder that you're ready to deploy into another trade, into another investment. I think a lot of people, from a sentiment and psychology standpoint, this ETF thing is new to all of us, right? It's new to everyone. We're seeing the price action. Price of Bitcoin didn't do what we all expected it to do, right? And I've said this on the show, undersold the fact that Grayscale, where we're going to get a lot of selling pressure from Grayscale. And so I feel like a lot of people are on the sidelines waiting to see how this thing is going to shake out, waiting to see how Bitcoin is going to stabilize, waiting to see how the rest of the altcoin markets are going to flow. And that's why you see a lot of money. If we zoom in here to the USDT, $63 million flowed into USDT Tether. This doesn't even have Circle on here, right? And so it's a decent amount of money people got waiting on the sidelines. Will they deploy it soon? Who knows? I do want to share.
I think that the ETF, it was live for 2 days. It's been live for 2 days. This is a long-term play. This is an accumulation of money that is pouring in from Wall Street. It's an asset that anybody on Wall Street, anyone with a 401k, institutions, everyone can get exposure without the risk of the U.S. The SEC ain't gonna come after you for buying an ETF. Put it that way. And so, massive injection of liquidity. It's been 2 days. Everybody, calm down. Yes. We had $4 billion worth of volume on $4 billion in volume in just 2 days. Just imagine what that's going to look like tenfold from now, right? And so I'm going to be watching tomorrow morning's open of the stock exchange, because you have a lot of people a lot of traditional money didn't even know the ETF went live, right? Because it was all this, what are they going to do? The SEC approved it. And then it was 12 hours later, it was trading, or more than 12 hours, but less than 24 hours, it was trading after the approval from the SEC. And so ask yourself, you think that the smart money out here is not going to get a play on Bitcoin, especially now it's a little cheaper, right? At the close on Friday, Bitcoin was 43, right?
Yeah.
So it got down to 41,000. It's down to 42.5 right now. And so I don't know, man. I think that there's a lot of smart money out there on traditional money that is looking for an entry opportunity. What a better time to get into Bitcoin than right now at 42.6.
Yeah. Even if it's not a trade, and if it's just a DCA or hold, it's great. I want to highlight a comment from Reggie Classics. Rob, will you scroll up just a little bit, my friend, on the chat? So he said, that's the same regardless of isolated or cross. The only difference with the two is risk levels, which can easily be adjusted. I'm speaking from experience. 100%, man. I agree with you. And we went over that in the actual trade, is knowing when to do. I never do cross margin. That's me personally. I know some people do cross margin. For me, that's a little that's too risky, especially if you have a substantial amount of money in there. Always go isolated, and then play around with the leverages, right? The numbers 7, 5, 10. Get that liquidation price to where you feel comfortable, knowing that even if we get a wick in that area, you're not going to get stopped out by a BS scam wick. I do want to share this. Whales accumulating, Maker and Aave. Is there a path to all-time highs? We're going to go over here to, we're going to take a look at Aave real quick to see what price action Aave is showing us on the chart. Also, if you are new here, say hello. We'd love to personally welcome you. So Aave, let's hide this. Let's go on. Let's throw some Bollinger Bands on here. So nothing significant on the Bollinger Bands on the daily. Let's go down to the 4-hour. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Like I said, we showed that heat map, right? This heat map here. Lot of consolidation here in neutral, right? So you're going to see a lot of tokens that have constricted Bollinger Bands, and these are ones you typically want to trade. Volatility is your best friend when it comes to trading. Take a look at the EMAs, 10, 21 day, trading right at it right now. As far as the structure of this chart here, take a look at the MACD. So RSI is trending up, but we're still at 51, so not oversold and not overbought. It looks like we're getting a flip on the MACD here soon, right? Once this histogram turns green and Aave continues to move up, it should be a positive sign. What I'm looking for, though, is I'm looking to clear this $107 level, right? Let's draw a horizontal line so you guys can take a look. This level I'm talking about here, that's $106.63 to be a little more exact. We wicked up here. This was back on January 4th, again on January 5th. On the way down, we retested this, right? This was back on the 13th of January, so Saturday. And then we spilled off, making a lower low. But again, you see this wick here. We did trade. We did start to get closer. It didn't really tap it, but still, a level I'd be looking at is resistance. And $3 to me, there's not enough room to put a trade in, at least in the short term.
It is something that I'm keeping my eye on when it comes to some of the projects I think are set to pop off. Aave right now at $100. The very low, the very absolute bottom for this was $50, right? In this last bull market or last bear market. And it's only 2x away from there. So as of right now, from market bottom, you would have been better off holding. Bitcoin. And when I say you're better off holding Bitcoin, yes, that's up until this point. But that just shows you that Bitcoin has outperformed it. Bitcoin consolidates, and as Bitcoin consolidates, alts rally. So the projects that were underperforming Bitcoin catch up, surpass after that when Bitcoin consolidates. So for me, I like projects. Aave hasn't on a 1 year. A year ago today is $80. Now it's at $100. Very bottom was $50. Now it's at $100. It has a lot of room to run. It was at $500. This is the blue chip DeFi, right? Borrowing, lending, all done in a DeFi, decentralized manner, all tied up in smart contracts on the Ethereum network. It's what you're looking for when you're identifying projects that have been around long enough. Great team that founded it. Strong tokenomics. Supply is extremely small. Hasn't ran against Bitcoin going into a bull market. Absolute one of my top plays here. So
1 hour looks kind of juicy here, man.
Yeah.
Aave 1 hour. Big spike in volume, as we saw a big spike in price as well. And this is going to be very, very important to see where this hourly candle closes in about 44 minutes. If we can build support on top of this $103 around 51 cent level, but we are seeing, and I'm going to throw this off and I'm going to throw the bands back on. You see on the hour, so on the 4 hour, bands have not expanded, but on the 1 hour they have. And that move is showing a move to the upside, as you can see here on the MACD, right? We have flipped bullish on the MACD. So this is all good on the hourly. And if you were to enter a trade, what I'd be looking at is obviously we've met resistance right at this $103.93 level. The next level I'd be looking at is, and I'll drop a horizontal line here. It's about $106.76. We saw this was back in on Friday around 11 p.m. Eastern time. We did consolidate a little bit and then broke below, but this was a more important one. This was back on this massive candle on Wednesday, January 10th. Massive candle broke above, just like an absolute textbook retest of this support line. Build on top of it, and then saw another massive green candle, and it was off to the races as Aave saw a gain after the retest of about 10%. So multiply that by whatever leverage you were using. This would have been a nice trade setup for you. And so what I'd be looking at on Aave on the 1 hour is to flip this resistance back to support. And so if you're looking to enter a long trade, and what you can do on BingX as well, is you can go in here and you can trigger, right? You can do a trigger price of, hey, when this price gets to $106.07, that is where I want to enter the market. And so, but as of now, it's something I'm going to keep an eye on, but I'm not comfortable entering a trade on Aave. Let's take a look at Chainlink. I know Chainlink was the other one in one of my favorite projects.
And also we have Edison Martin and Joe Random new here. Names I don't recognize off the top of my head.
Awesome. Welcome, guys.
So welcome. Hola!
Olita. Chainlink is actually looking really good.
And then if you guys have, if anybody has signed up with the link there, let us know. I'll give you a shout out as well.
So Chainlink looking pretty good, Rob. So what I'm seeing on Chainlink here, bullish on the MACD, right? But we could see a potential cross of the signal in the MACD line, which would be negative. But the histogram is still showing green. We are making, as you can see here, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. The resistance level we want to take out is this $16 level, right, for Chainlink. So this is, again, on the 1 hour. And I'll draw this horizontal line so you can see just how important this level is here. So going back, right, going back on the 1 hour. So back on December 2nd, we saw Chainlink break above, come back, retest, trade below, again, break above, retest, kind of consolidate in the zone, and then a clean breakout through. Once we did break out from this trend line, we saw a move of about 8% for Chainlink. And then once we dropped below it, it was a clean drop. I believe this was when there was some big news on the 10th of December. It's not coming to me yet. But again, bumping up, essentially a double top on the 1 hour. So it's back on December 23rd and December 24th. Again, triple top if you expand that out to Christmas Day. And then a clean break above. Again, the move, once we broke above, was about 11%. Bumped up against this back on January 1st. Wicked up here on January 11th. And look where we are. Look where we were earlier today, about what, 2 hours ago, right? 2 hours ago. And we are currently trading. We are trading below. Let's take a look at the Bollinger Bands here. So these are expanded, and we do typically see some support at the midline here of the Bollinger Bands. So if you want the absolute best entry, what I've been looking at is about $14.79 for Chainlink. This might be a worthy long trade, Robin. This is an interesting one. And if we break above it, we're going to zoom out to the, this is on the 4 hour. We're going to zoom out to the daily on Chainlink.
Are you going to put in a long trade on this?
I don't know.
Also, K Factor said he signed up using the link as well. So.
Bam, bam. K Factor, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for this channel. So this is Chainlink on the daily. Looks like I think Chainlink's getting ready for a big move, man. It's been trading sideways for a long time. It had a big breakout to over 15, 16 bucks. We saw it come back down with the rest of the markets, and it's kind of been trading sideways. But again, on the daily, putting in
4 green candles,
higher lows. Yeah. We swap over to Heikin Ashi. You can see here, decent trend. And again, on the MACD, pretty bullish on the MACD, guys. Pretty bullish. That MACD line is above the signal line, which is what you want to see. You see the histogram is starting to tick up as well. Last time this happened, we saw Chainlink go from, saw a move of about, from low to wick, about 20% on Chainlink. So here's, okay, so if we do enter this trade, what I'd be looking at is I'm looking to take profits. I mean, you have to look at taking some short-term profits here.
Yeah,
right?
You're looking at that. What was that resistance there that's hit 3 times?
No, I'll kind of move this up just a little bit right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lower bound of this is right at 1675, which gives us about $1.40 wiggle room. But again, trading leverage, amplify that by however many X's of leverage you're trading. And the upper band, which is going to be a little difficult to break, brother, is 1754.
Now, last bull market, it traded at $20 for quite some time. I remember it was for a big chunk of the last bull market. I remember it being right around the $16, $17 range, getting up to, I think the all-time high, what was it, $50 or something like that?
Yeah.
And going into the next bull market, the fundamentals, CCIP, we did a pretty cool video on that too as well. Yeah, man. Pretty.
No, what are you feeling, man? Feeling along here?
I don't know, man. The 4 green candles. I think.
Trend is showing bullish. Here's the thing, though.
You know what? Going in tomorrow, I really got this. I'm more narrative driven than
Yeah.
charts,
Which is,
I think tomorrow is they're going to open up a floodgate of people that are trying to get exposure to Bitcoin. Think about all the people that had a 3-day weekend that have exposure to stocks. They're hanging out with one of their neighbors, and they're like, "Hey, man, you buy this Bitcoin ETF?" And like, no. And then all of a sudden, the price drops down by 5%. Just saying. I don't know, man. I think tomorrow is going to be a green day. How green? I don't know. You think you'll get a green day tomorrow? 'Cause I know you were shell shocked by that grayscale news. But you think we got a green day tomorrow, David?
I do, man. I really do. I'm trying to pull up.
I think there's still going to be sell pressure from grayscale. I think that now that we've had 2 days, Thursday, Friday, underwhelming, I think people are going to be hesitant. They're going to be looking for entry position on Bitcoin. So I think there's going to be some money on the sidelines, at least on Wall Street, to get exposure on the ETF. So I don't think we'll get a giant move. I don't think we're going to get that God candle that people are talking about. I think tomorrow's a green day. I would expect Chainlink to rally. Only thing is you got to make it to 9 a.m.
Say less, Robin.
Eastern time.
So you're saying you want to put this trade in? I got you.
You are such a degen.
All right. So Link, we're going to enter a trade on Link, and where I'm going to be looking. So my game plan is to start taking profits at around $16.72. We've seen this act as resistance quite a few times. November 11th, December 8th, and December 28th. And so going back here to the BingX platform, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can take a peek here. And then as far as where do I want my liquidation price? I want my liquidation price under $14, right? Under $14. I'm going to throw on this VRVP here. Yeah, you can see tons and tons of volume just in this like $14 to like $15.45 level. So I think if Chainlink drops to $14, we should see some decent buy pressure come in. You can see the last time here, we had a decent spike in volume. This was back on the 18th of December. Again, when we traded below it, we saw decent spikes in volume as well. And the MACD is showing on the daily too, not on the 1 hour, 30 minute, on the daily. It's showing some bullish moves for Chainlink. So we're going to enter in, how much do we want to put in here? Let's do $100 on Chainlink. So $100 liquidation price. I need it to be under $14, 10x. Let's go down to 8x on Chainlink.
Why don't we go a little lower? Just because, why don't we do like a 5x or something?
So 5x.
Just because we had the 3 green candle or the 4 green candles, I think 10x we might. I go 5x.
You scared? So 5x, we wouldn't get liquidated until about 12:39, right?
Yeah.
We do a 7x, right? You're looking at a liquidation price.
Let's do a 5x, bro.
Of 13.32. All right. Robin called it.
Thank
5x, Chainlink, isolated, $100. Won't get liquidated until about $12.38. I feel pretty confident. We're looking to take profits again, right around this $16.78 level. And there you have it, my friends. Our third trade. So to recap our trades. Zooming in here, you can see all your positions here. We are currently in a long, all 3 longs. We're bullish. And we are in the green on our Solana and Bitcoin trades. So we're in a Bitcoin long, $200, 8x, the liquidation price of $37,858. We're in a long position on Solana for $150 on a 4x leverage with a liquidation price of $72.77. And we are now in a $100 5x leverage trade on Chainlink with a liquidation price of $12.38. Guys, if you like what you saw today, you like the platform, you can see how easy it is, how user-friendly it is. You can actually access, if you don't even have TradingView, You don't want to pay for it. Do everything TradingView has here, right on the BingX website. And again, they are doing a special airdrop for the first 20 people who sign up with the affiliate link here. We have it pinned in the comment section. So if you want to support the channel, you want a great platform you can trade on, a platform that's got 100% reserves, a platform that puts customer service first. Highly, highly recommended. This is where I do all my trading. So big shout out to BingX. That's all I got, Rob.
All right, cool.
Cool.
That was a good show.
Good show. That was
What do you guys think about the our first night stream trading focus show? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I liked it. It's good.
Yeah. Also, guys, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and go check out we did a Solana video. Solana looking to take over 2024. Exactly how and why, we went over that in the video. And then also come check out our live show tomorrow, doing our Rate My Portfolio segment. Submit your portfolios on Twitter, DM us.
And we'll double back, check in on these trades as well.
Yeah,
So.
checking on the trades tomorrow. Cool. With that being said, Robin, no tornado, just
out.
too many tornadoes in a day is bad for the environment. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the content. Make sure to like the video. And if you want us to do it again, drop that in the comment section. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin, it's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't